Welcome back, and this is X basically doing another review of Rwby Ice Queendom. Episode 5, where episode 4 left off. Now then, we are picking up where basically Rwby, this is spoilers if you haven't watched the show. Well, I'm already episode 5, so if you're already looking at this or 40 other stuff, then that's kind of on you. So, apparently she is in a bind and Lisa's mine. So apparently, after that little bind, I think it knocked Rwby out of Lisa's mind, and it got kind of complicated from there. And then this part, the Dreamcaster, who does this thing with her semblance, basically tells Rwby to basically wake up, so she does. That's why you see this red thing right here. Or she wakes up. She wakes up and pretty much tells him what just happened, and realizes that this is going to be a lot harder than she thought it would be. Then that bat-looking thing is like, oh, she got away, oh, she got away. And then basically Wade sends all of her subordinates to go search for her because she still thinks she's around there somewhere. And so one of them makes the decision that they're going to have to come up with new plans that way they can actually make this work. Then they come to the conclusion that basically the one that she saw in her mind or whatever, apparently it's just like a subconscious or something like that. Apparently they decide to get to an argument, but they all decide to go together, so that's what happens this time. They also kind of point out that Waze hasn't woken up from the dream either, so she's still in somewhat of a problem. And then apparently, as they both enter, or the three of them enter her mind, for some reason, Blake only has one of her ears there, for some reason. This episode puts a whole new meaning to Ice Queendom because, as you can see, they're in this cold ass breeze, and they've all kind of gotten new outfits as they enter Waze's mind, and had a few adjustments to reveal the semblance. So this is going to get a bit of an interesting episode. Apparently, Blake's grappling hook has stretched longer than it should, and Weiss' mindset for some reason. And apparently, Yang's punches have also gotten stronger. They all basically got the coins that she has. But Yang makes a suggestion not to use too much of them, so that way they don't have to go out, otherwise then they'll end up being stuck in Weiss' mind. I'm sorry about that, but yeah. And so the three of them just basically saw what Rwby saw in episode 4. Train attack, and basically those ram things taking a pretty big piece of work. And they both decide to further get inside that place. They navigate around the city and they decide when they are going to do their thing. And then at this scene, we see where Weiss is basically making her next move since she, rather than the train attack. And is getting reported as what's going on accordingly around the city, or what do you want to call it, town. So that way she'll understand what's up. They all basically explore how odd the city is, considering this is Weiss's mind, by the way. Then pretty much see a shadow. I hate to say this, but it looks kind of like Cinder's shadow. Damn, that last take came in at the last second. But yeah, it looked like Cinder's shadow, but she's not exactly too relevant. Well, she's not relevant at all in this episode, so moving on forward. As I was going to sound, for some reason in Weiss's mind, Pira Nikos apparently is singing here, and I just think it's really, really odd. And I feel kind of glad I don't have it playing because I'm afraid I might get copyright or something, so I'm just going to have to let that be. And then the girls basically discover that every time a shepherd keeps going through this area, it's like a portal or something, so they make a decision to distract the robots so they can enter in this one of those decoys, the coins they got, so. And then the robot basically tries to figure out not the robot, the bad ones, what the hell they're doing, and call for another decoy, as I mentioned before. And basically use the coin to open another door in this place. And then they're basically proposing how they get inside this fortress over here, so that way they can find Weiss. And then the announcer things just came out of nowhere. It's basically saying to capture them and get them, or return them to the palace or whatever. And so Rwby and Yang basically make the plans to get a capture on purpose while Blake basically finds the way in a secret way. So they're here. They basically go through that another one of those talking doors, but inside that thing. I'm sorry if you guys heard that noise. If you didn't, then never mind. But either way. And by the way, I was just gonna say them real quick. Just point out how good Waste. I just point out how good Yang and Ruby look. I mean, damn. Then meanwhile on the phone call, the professor tells them to be very, very careful though. What they do when Waste is mine, and Ruby pretty much says yes to that. So and then this thing they do rock paper scissors, and apparently think that I think that I think that Yang won, so she's gonna stay inside the thing while they both try to find ways. And then they meet again, apparently under bad circumstances again. And that's the end of the episode, guys. So yeah, guys, yeah, that's how this episode ends. It looks pretty interesting. I'm gonna watch episode 5 to see where that. Wait, this is episode 5. Episode 6 to see what happens next. And like, subscribe, and see you guys later. Peace. Peace. Okay, that's it. This computer's making me look bad.